I read some books. Let's talk about it. Hey y'all, this is Tasha. Welcome to Amazing Reads. I'm coming to you today with my June wrap up. In the month of June, I was able to read 13 books total. That's with 2 DNFs. Everything else I pretty much like. So without further ado, I'm coming to you with my semi-late June wrap up. So the book I want to talk about was a DNF, unfortunately, and that book is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I might actually give this one another try. It's about Paige, who's a clairvoyant, who gets picked up and taken to this other place. I just found that I was about almost 200 pages in and I didn't really care what was going on. So I felt like I probably should just put this down for now because it was making me a little bit slumpy. So I've heard good things about it. I've heard people DNF it, so I don't really know where I will stand. But this is something that I probably will give another go. And that's The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I didn't give it a rating because I DNF'd it. The next book that I finished was the Bromance Book Club by Alyssa K. Adams. This is for my in real life book club. We've been meeting over Zoom, but it's in real life. This book is about a married couple who've been married for about 3 years, and the wife decides that she just can't do it anymore. So some of the main character's teammates, because he's a professional baseball player, get together and they have a book club where they read romance books to learn how to better treat their women. It was a really cute premise. It was really, really funny. The conflict wasn't my absolute favorite about why they couldn't be together or what exactly was going on, but I did end up really liking the story in the end. So I ended up giving this one 4 stars. It couldn't be a complete 5-star for me because there were just a couple characters I didn't really jive with. And the conflict at the end, him finding, or I don't want to spoil anything, I almost did. But they were just like, it was fine, but I just really did enjoy it. The sexy times were good. It was a good time. The next book I read in the month of June was Docile by Kay and Spara. In this book, I have a full review of it on Amazing Reads blog. But basically what happens in this book is that in order to pay off your debt, what you have to do is you can either go to debtor's prison or you can become a docile. A docile is essentially a slave. You can choose to be injected with medicine, and so that you can forget your time where you're trying to pay off your debt, your family's debt, because it keeps piling on. In this story, we follow Elijah, who becomes a docile, and Elijah ends up, Elijah ends up with Alexander, or Alex, who is the son of the family who created the drug that the dociles take. This book was hard to read. I will say there's content warnings for rape, sexual assault, torture. Well, not really torture, but like torture. I really enjoyed this book. I think that the ending could have been better. It was a little after the I think the ending could have been better. After the intensity of the whole book, the ending came off a little bit cheesy for me. But I will say this was really hard for me to read, and there were some parts that I had to put the book down. I enjoyed the writing. I'm not going to say I enjoyed, but I really liked the way that the author explained the world and how everything worked, and it was crystal clear how things were going. I'm going to say this isn't for everyone. It is a dark fantasy, dystopian type world. It is well written. There are tough topics. I did do a full review, so I will link that down below because I think that's a lot more articulate than I'm being right now. I really enjoyed the characters, and like I said, the ending wasn't anything that I enjoyed. So this is Docile by K.M. Spira. The next book I read was The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rashan. This is I'm going to put it in women's fiction as opposed to romance. This is a women's fiction novel where Samaya, the main character, is getting ready for her date with her boyfriend. Her sister's reading her a Twitter thread and she realizes that it's her boyfriend on this bad date. So she ends up going to the restaurant and meeting up with two other girls that he's also dating. And so they were basically all catfished by this guy. And then so they decide to make a club where they just kind of focus on their dreams and everything and kind of put romance on hold. Unbeknownst to Samaya, Daniel comes into the picture at work, and they have an instant attraction. And so there are romantic elements in here. There are sex scenes in here. However, the part that I cared about the most was the relationship between the women and their friendship, because I just love female friendship in books. So that was what I liked the most. Daniel's holding a secret. She finds out. So, I mean, the plot was kind of predictable. There was just something about this that it took me a really long time to read. And also, like, I didn't believe the romance that much. I felt like it was just really fast and not so much instant love, but I feel like they went from 0 to 100 like super fast. It was like, oh, we're taking it slow, and then it was just like, bam, we're madly in love with each other. So that kind of bugged me. I did really enjoy the romantic gesture at the end of the book. I mean, it's a romance, women's fiction, so we know that that's in there. But I really did enjoy that. I thought it was adorable. I would recommend this book, and I'm really interested to see about the other two characters, the other two women in the group. I'm ready for their books because I think those books would be really good, and I really was interested in them. So it's The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rashan. The next book that I read was Pet by Oweke Emezi. This is I'm going to put it in young adult because of the themes. It reads like a middle grade, but I don't know that I would give this to a middle grade reader. Maybe for sure young adult reader, not sure about a middle grade. I have a full review of this on Amazing Reads. In this story we follow Jam, who lives in the town of Lucille, where all monsters have been eradicated. So the angels came in and got rid of all the monsters, supposedly. So Jam's mother creates a painting that Jam accidentally wakes up, and a creature comes out of the painting, and the creature is like, the monsters are now gone. There's a monster in your city, and I'm here to kill it. So that's basically the very basic plot of the story. This book is phenomenal. Everything that you've heard about it is true. Oweke Emezi, how they were able to pack so much commentary about how we turn a blind eye and pretend like everything is good when we just want to, because we want to live in bliss, but that is always harmful. That was just, oh my goodness, it was so good. I want to reread this soon. I want to get my own copy so I can annotate it. But Jam was such a great character. Their friendship with their best friend Redemption was so good. I just love to see platonic relationships in kid literature. I feel like it's always got to be romantic or leading that way, but just to see two people just be friends and protect each other and love each other and it not be in a romantic way was really refreshing to see, and it was written so well that you cared so much. I absolutely cried in one part. There is trigger warning for child abuse. I don't give trigger warnings often because I'm not triggered by a whole lot, but child abuse is one of them. So I would want you to know that. There's just so much. I don't want to say too much about it because it's just, you need to go read this. Like, if I was going to pick, can I say that? This is one of the top 2 favorites that I had this month. It was just so good. It's so well written. I want to read more from this author. They have about 3 books out, I think, and 1 more coming out. I want to just read it all. The writing was great. I just really loved the representation in this book. It's just so much. There are some own voices, non-binary reviewers who have probably done a much better job than I can. So I would look those up for some own voices review, but I just know that I really, really, really enjoyed this. So I read was for the Queer Blackathon that took place on Juneteenth for 48 hours. So the first, well, really the only book that I finished for that was All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. My goodness. Like I said, this isn't exactly, it's not own voices for me because I'm not queer. However, if I had a queer child or queer young adult, I would definitely put this book in their hands, talking about, so that they could see that their experience, that they aren't alone. I did relate to the representation of the Black family in this book. It was just, the essays are so well written. This is a memoir written by George M. Johnson, going over their experience being queer and Black in the Black community, being raised by a Black family, discovering their sexuality and their queerness. So there should be more of these out here. This is geared towards a young adult audience. I believe that adults can get a lot from this too. This really helped me understand and see. That was all that I was able to finish for the Queer Blackathon. One book in 48 hours is pretty good for me. Anyway, the next book that I finished in the month of June was You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. I listened to this on audio. The audiobook was absolutely phenomenal. This follows Liz Lightly, who has everything planned out, who wants to be in the orchestra at this college that her mother, who is deceased, went to. Turns out she didn't get the scholarship that she needed to be able to afford to go to the school. So prom queen is a big deal at this school, and there's a scholarship attached to it. So Liz Lightly decides that she's going to go out for prom queen. In the process, Liz falls in love with a girl. She evaluates some of her friendship, and also she has to deal with her chronically ill brother who has sickle cell. This book was so cute. It was so awesome. The story is so good. All the hype, everything you're hearing about it is great. The teenage characters are very realistic in this. And I just really, really enjoyed Liz's story, her trials, the way she dealt with things, the way she built friendships, all of that and all the craziness. There's some funny parts. The love story is very slow. And I really enjoyed that because a lot of times in young adult, it progresses too fast. But this one was very slow and realistic. Overall, everything you're hearing about this book is true. And I would definitely suggest the audiobook for this one because it was just phenomenal. The audiobook narrator was so good that I just ended up listening to the majority of it at work one day. So You Should See Me in a Crown, Leah Johnson. Definitely recommend. The next book that I finished in the month of June was A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. This is another one that is super hyped up. This one follows two they're sisters, they're best friends, but they're sisters that live together, and they're trying to figure out, one of them is trying to figure out exactly what she is. The main characters are Amani, is that right? No, Tavia and Effie, there we go. Tavia is a siren, and she must hide her siren powers because sirens are not accepted in this society. And so when things happen to sirens, they tend to blame them. And then Effie is trying to figure out exactly what she is. This book has so much social commentary. It's basically just an allegory for the things that are going on now. They go to a Sirens Lives Matter movement or protest. People come out as sirens. It just, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to describe this. It was so unexpected. I didn't know, I kept hearing black mermaids, and that's a part of it, but there's so much more in here. There's so much to unpack. I think that you could read this book multiple times and get new things out of it. It's well written. It's not, for it to be as short as it is, there is so much that you can get out of this story. You could sit there and analyze the whole allegory that Bethany C. Morrow put in here. I really enjoyed this. I really, really want to read more from her. I definitely highly recommend this. And this was another one that I really did enjoy in the month of June. The next book that I completed was Imperfectly Happy by Sharina Harris. I thought that this was going to be a romance. This is more so a women's fiction novel where, again, it focuses on female friendships. It is a group of 4 friends who used to have a club, the Masterminds Club, in college, and then they all just, after college, went their separate ways doing different things. They still remained in touch, so they decided to revive their Masterminds Club so that they can go and reach out for their dreams that they have wanted to do. Overall, this was fine. Each one has a relationship with someone else, with a man. And they each are dealing with different things, and the man dealing with, like their newfound things. They all have other issues that are compounded on throughout that. It was fine. Like I said, I thought it was going to be a romance, and there are romantic things in it, but this is not a romance. It's a women's fiction novel. So it wasn't exactly what I expected. However, it was fine. I would look it up if it sounds like something that you would like. But that's Imperfectly Happy by Sharina Harris. All right, the next thing that I read was Black Enough, edited by Evie Zaboy. This is an anthology of different Black experiences, and I absolutely loved it. So we often talk about not wanting to just focus on Black pain, but look at Black joy, and this is definitely what Black Enough did. There are several different short stories in there that focus on different aspects of being a Black teen in America, and there's all different kinds of stories in this collection, written by a lot of popular Black YA authors, some not so popular, some I need to do some research on because I really enjoyed their story. But it just has some of everything and has Black people from all different backgrounds. It talks about code switching, Black nerds, Black musicians, being Black in white spaces. It's just, there's so much to unpack in this that I would definitely highly recommend this. I just got so much out of it. I really enjoyed it. I even found some that I could relate to. Some moments in there that was just really good. So I definitely do recommend Black Enough. The audiobook is really good. There's 2 narrators. It was just really good. I definitely would recommend this, and I think that more people should be talking about this one. The next book that I read was A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, and oh my gosh, guys, like, why are we not talking about this? I just, look at this. Look at these tabs. Can you see them? Yeah. Anyway, like, there's so much in here. This follows two sisters who, in this world, in order to get the queendom, when they both come of age, they must fight to the death. The main character who we follow, whose perspective we follow, is Eva. That's right. The main character is Eva, and Eva is about two or 3 years younger than her sister, who already is. Eva's name day is approaching. Eva has not, everybody in this world possesses a type of magic that gets inscribed on them via tattoos on their 9th birthday. Oh no, I think it happens at birth. Actually, anyway, everybody has some magic. Eva doesn't know how to use her magic. Her magic is very dangerous, and the last queen to have it wreaked havoc on the world. So they've kind of locked her down. But she's just, I don't even know. This is so interesting as Eva discovers her magic. She fights with her mom, who wants nothing to do with her, really. Her mom, the queen. Her sister, who is the favorite with the mother. Her father, who is who she's closest with. There is just so much in here. I found my fictional crush in here. More people need to talk about this. I can't wait for the second book to come out. They just did a cover redesign, which I'm kind of annoyed with because I wouldn't have bought this one because the new ones are so good, but whatever. There's just so much in here. There's different kinds of creatures. There's different kinds of magic. There's different kinds of city factions. Like, there's so much in here that, like, I know I'm going to reread this before the second book comes out and probably enjoy it even more. More people need to be talking about this. Like, everyone needs to be talking about this. Everyone needs to go read it. So y'all see it? A River of Royal Blood, Amanda Joy. Go read it. I don't really have a bunch of coherent thoughts about it because I loved it that much. But I definitely would recommend you picking this up as soon as possible. It's worth all the hype you're hearing, even though we don't hear too much about it, but I think more people need to be reading this. A River of Royal Blood. The next book is a DNF also, and it's A Cowboy to Remember by Rebecca Weatherspoon. I thought I was going to really enjoy this because, you know, Black cowboys. But I have been reading this for over a month, and I was like, I just didn't want to pick it up. So I went ahead and DNF'd it. I might come back, you know, circle back to it later. But I don't really have a whole lot to say because I only got like 30% in. This follows a girl who is a TV chef. Somebody hurts her. She loses her memory. She can only remember this hot guy in her dreams, but she doesn't know where he comes from. They show up. I don't know. I didn't know where it was going. I might circle back to it, but as for right now, this is going to be a DNF, A Cowboy to Remember. And the last book I read releases on July 7th, and it is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. I got this as an ARC from NetGalley, so thank you to the publishers in NetGalley. This book takes place about 200 or 300 years after Cinderella has died, and the king keeps up the tradition of a ball where all the girls who are of age have to go and they have to attend this ball. It's mandatory by law. And they get picked by a suitor. They get 3 chances to attend this ball to be picked, or else they are considered forfeit, and then they disappear. The women are very oppressed in the society. There's a curfew for them. There's so much that they can and cannot do. They're very limited in what they can do. The husband is in complete control. There is abuse in this. There is there's some trigger warnings in it. I would look for people who are better at that, because like I said, there's not a whole lot that I'm triggered by. Our main character is Sophia. Sophia just wants to run off with her best friend Arent, and and just forget about all these traditions. Arent is less inclined to go against what's going on. Overall, this is a really, really solid fantasy. I ended up giving this one, I don't think I've been doing star ratings this whole time, but I have a 4 stars, a very strong 4 stars. At the end, I felt that there was just too much trying to be thrown in, but I do recommend this, and I do think that there's a lot of commentary going on in here, and this also focuses on people being silent and just going with the tradition, as opposed to standing up when they know that what's going on is wrong, and paying the consequences for it. Like, this book is so hyped, and it deserves it. It definitely deserves it. The cover is beautiful. I definitely do recommend this, and I do think that this is something that people should read. Just for me, the ending was there's a lot thrown in that last 20% that I didn't totally enjoy, but overall, I definitely will be recommending this book, and it comes out July 7th. So that's everything that I read in June, all 13 books. I'm on track to read more for July, so I might be doing a mid-month wrap-up. I don't know. This is my first wrap-up, so we'll see what format works best for me and what I have going on and the time that I have. So that's everything. And so like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Follow me on my social medias if you want to. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.